Broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legends.
Here's Doug Gottlieb.
Let's welcome in the head coach of the Chargers. Anthony Lynn joins us on the Doug Gottlieb Show.
How you doing?
I'm great. If you asked average guy in the street, hey, I'm the coach of the Chargers, what do you think we finished last year? How many people do you think would say 9-7?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
My sense is that people would act like, well, they had a bad year last year. Oh, you had a slow start, bad start.
Yeah.
But finished with a kick, and I think that's the reason the expectations are so high for this team. But I don't think average Joe fan realized you guys won 9 games last year.
We realize it, and I hope our fans understand, where we're at right now. And we understand that, a lot of people say a field goal away, but there are a lot of plays, that would have made a difference in the games last year. We just hopefully we can carry over the culture from last year to this year. We're not worried about the wins and losses. You can't carry those over, but the culture you can. And we kept this team together for a reason, the coaching staff, the players. And like you said, we're not moving. Everyone's more comfortable, more familiar right now. And so it feels really good. I feel a lot of stability with our staff and continuity.
When you took the job, and look, you've been all around this league, worked for some really good people. I know there's only 32 jobs. Did anybody say, Anthony, you're crazy? It's the Chargers. Don't do it. Did anybody? You don't have to name them. Did anybody say that to you?
I have mentors, and some of them say you may be moving, this may be going on, this and that. I looked at the roster in my interview, with the organization, the people that interviewed me, and I like the leadership, and I like the roster we had. So to me, it was an easy pick.
How did you not lose the team? You're 0-4, and they were at least 3 just devastating losses. And as much as they're grown men and they're fighting for paychecks, and everybody likes to say, hey, man, it doesn't matter. It's just got to be hard. And you're a first-year coach, and it's a 50-50 split in home games in terms of your fans and opposing fans. But you did an amazing job of keeping them together. How?
I have to give those guys credit. I have to give the coaching staff credit because those guys, they're high-character guys. I really love the men that we have on this football team, the things that they do in our community and everything. But they were never going to quit. And I was never going to flinch, and the coaching staff wasn't either. And so as long as we stayed on track and stayed on course and kept working hard, we knew it was going to turn. It was just a matter of time.
Melvin Ingram is a guy who really, really impresses, I think, everybody. What's maybe most impressive is you go back to last year, he gets paid before camp.
Yes.
And yet he plays better. That's something that can be rare.
It's rare.
Is it rare?
That's because that's what I'm talking about. The character of the men on this team. When we paid him last year, I'd never even met him. And when he got here, I was like, man, this guy shows up like an undrafted free agent, taking nothing for granted, taking coaching, working his butt off. Yeah, that's Melvin Ingram. Outside of kicking game, which is the obvious, what are the little things? Because the difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs is this much, sure.
Right? You guys, I feel like you guys in Baltimore screwed the whole thing up because two teams, Buffalo, who I know you know very well, Buffalo and Tennessee, those weren't playoff teams. You and Baltimore were playoff teams, and yet because of Baltimore late and you guys early, you didn't end up getting in. But the margin is this slight.
Yes.
What are the things that in year 2 as a coach you think you guys need to do better to get on the other side of that margin?
We want to continue to understand this game and play smart. Okay, I feel like we took some strides in that last year after the Jacksonville game. And we want to play more physical. This game has evolved, no doubt about it. But there are some things that doesn't change, physicality. And the team that's the most physical on Sunday usually win. And I want this team to play more physical.
How can you? But there is the pull of, and we saw this in Hard Knocks. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch.
No, I don't get a chance to watch TV.
It was really fascinating in that you had 2 coordinators who both been head coaches in Cleveland Browns front office. And they're sitting there, and Hugh Jackson, who had been a coordinator but been a head coach, Hugh Jackson's like, look, we got to give guys days off. They're giving guys vet days in the middle of camp as a preventative measure. Yeah. And you have Todd Haley say, oh, look, we won 1 game the last 2 years. We want to be more physical. There's so much they need to learn and as you know, less practice time than you ever had when you were a player or coming up as a coach. Like, there's a hard thing. And Hugh Jackson said, hey, look, all due respect, I've been in that chair. This is my team. This is the way we're going to do it. What's that pull like for you as a guy who's been a position coach, understands you got to have guys in the practice field, and you have to manage how much, not just the reps, but if a guy even puts on the shells because you want to have the preventative so that they're ready for all 16.
There's a fine line, and I know exactly where Ty Haley's coming from because we both played on a team and coached on a team in 2006 with Coach Parcells. And talent-wise, we were an average roster. But we went to the playoffs that year because we built resolve. Coach Parcells built resolve in that football team and grit, and we did it through training camp and a lot of hard work and physicality. But at the same time, you know, if your roster is thin, you know, you have to be careful that you want to get everybody to week one.
Yeah.
And so there's a fine line between going too hard and not going hard enough. So I talk to guys a lot about a physical mindset. We're not going to go out here and beat the hell out of each other every day.
How do you establish a physical mindset?
We will emphasize it every single day, and we show video clips of it in practice when it's right and when it's done the way we want it done, and we just keep emphasizing and coaching it.
Anthony Lynn joining us on the Doug Gottlieb Show. You mentioned Bill Parcells. I know he's a mentor of yours, and one of the things I've been told that you have that he had is there's a healthy respect and maybe a level of fear, right? Which is, I think, healthy. Look, I played for a guy in college at Oklahoma State, Eddie Sutton. And he might have been in his 60s when I played for him, but I wasn't going to challenge him. I'm like, I don't want to be the guy who he proves, like Robin Ventura running out there and Nolan Ryan pounds him in the ground. Like I feared him. I think we all kind of feared him. Not a bad level of fear, but a level of respect to fear. How do you create that with players without being overbearing, but to the point to where they respect you as a man and as a leader and as a coach without it being too much of one side or the other?
Early on in my coaching career, I had a lot of success early with my running backs and offensive run game coordinator. We rushed for a lot of yards. And I coached a lot out of fear, to be honest with you, early on. But as I grew older, I began to understand more that you're going to get more out of people through relationships and love. And I reach out to my guys. I call my guys, and I go over and put my arm around them, and I talk to them. But at the same time, I'm very demanding. And if you mistake demanding for fear, then that's your problem. But, I have high expectations for every man on that field. And if I'm not getting it, I'm going to be in your face.
It's interesting. Week one games, I know the Patriots have told people, hey, first 4 games, that's like extended training camp. So for them, maybe it's because they play in the AFC East right now. It feels like week one, Kansas City Chiefs, is a massive game for this franchise. And it doesn't, as you proved last year, just even you lose first 4, you can still come back. But I don't think am I overselling it to, that's the team that kept you out of the playoffs last year. That's a team that I think everybody respects. Andy Reid.
When's the last time we've beaten this team? Do you know?
I don't know. How many years ago?
That's a problem.
Yes.
That's a problem.
How many years ago? It was like 4 years ago? Yeah. I mean, so now look, and they're different with Mahomes. They're going to look completely different, but they're still coached by Andy Reid.
They're different with Mahomes, but they're also different with Sammy Watkins.
Yes. No, they added. It's clear they're going to try and have. They got some offensive pop there.
No doubt.
Really good at tight end. Tyreek Hill, don't punt to him. And of course, you got Sammy Watkins, and they're good at running back as well, and they're well coached on defense. That said, considering the starts of your career last year, previous regimes, am I overselling that week one is a really big game for the Chargers?
Week one is a big game because it is the first game. It doesn't matter who we're playing that first game. That is a huge week for us.
No, but we want to
start fast. We want to start fast. And I know they're in the division, they're a rival, but I don't want to overhype, any game because they're all important. This is not like basketball and baseball. We don't have 100 of these suckers. We got 16. So every single one is very important.
17 has been there a while. Last year you came in. I know you asked him to turn the football over less, and he did a better job. He did a better job of that.
A heck of a job.
What do you want? What's the next step this year that you want to see 17 do?
I want to pick up where we left off. It's all about the ball. I want to take care of the football. And I thought he played well last year, but we have to win in the games that, the big games. I thought we were 1-5 versus playoff teams last year. We need to improve that.
Yeah, the Jacksonville one just still stabs in the heart. I mean, there's so many.
Why are you doing that to me?
Why are
you doing that to
me? I apologize. One thing that you view differently now, different lens, year 2 as a coach than you did last year.
Well, I have to have a better understanding of what this team can do and can't do, and I know where we want to go with this organization and this football team. And sometimes you're not going to get there overnight, and so I believe been around these guys for a year, we're going to put them in better positions to make plays and do what they do best.
Hey, congrats on your first year winning 9 games. A lot of expectations. Nobody handles them like you. Thanks for joining us on Fox Sports Radio.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Anthony Lynn, head coach of the LA Chargers, joining us here